Buckle up is the message from IMF, and ECB says we are going to use beyond normal tools. This has been there from years. Future of finance facing digital disruption. Bank of Japan and Euro area is actually coordinating and working on something new using fintechs, and in yesterday's video we actually got that clear, right? Now I would actually like to play this video in which you get it directly from Christine Lagarde, that what's happening now and what they are looking up to. If you are receiving value out of the content, do hit the like button, subscribe button and the bell notification icon to get updated about the future videos.
ECB included, are driven by their mandate. They have the privilege of being independent institutions, accountable to, for myself, the European Parliament, to which I report back and am accountable to, and I go every 3 months to tell about our action and our tools and how we measure them and how we assess them. But we are also mandate driven. And mandate dictates that we do whatever is necessary and whatever is needed in order to actually deliver on our purpose, which will be a factor of circumstances.
So based on the circumstances, they can actually use whatever tools they want to actually stand up from that kind of circumstances. That is actually interesting.
To give you an example, we are currently, and we've all said the same thing, going through exceptional circumstances. The global economy and the euro area, where I'm located and where I have to be active, is facing this unprecedented shock that we could not have imagined. Well, in that case, you clearly have to go beyond the normal, including the normal and conventional tools, to use things that are of an exceptional nature and that have to be designed, calibrated, and with the appropriate level of deviation and room to maneuver in order to actually deliver on that mandate, whether it is...
So what we just heard is not dot connecting and all, it's directly information from her. We are going through an unprecedented crisis. Then we are going to use, or we'll have to use, unconventional tools. Then the next words which she chose is interesting, which I felt interesting, is use things of exceptional nature. Okay, that's interesting. And then it should be something which is well designed and calibrated. Wow, that actually takes me into a new financial world system, where we are going through everything is being used in artificial intelligence. There are systems which can do everything in an instantaneous manner without friction, blah 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 stuff. So which actually refers back to, for me, it refers me back into RippleNet and XRP, because that's the only asset which you can use in the time of this, and something which fits into that, use things of exceptional nature. Okay, keeping all those what we talked in mind and looking at this, the digital dollars classed as legal tender, it's looking bright, meaning the change is here and the change is not coming, it's already here and we are riding it. The reason why I state this is because we already saw that China is coming up with that and they are moving through. So at the same time, we can see Bank of Japan and Euro area, excuse me, Euro area is also moving so much. Thus, US can't actually lag behind, and that's actually happening. Now, as we just saw yesterday about Ripple is getting into the ISO, it's the first one for ISO DLT area. So the unconventional tools which they're going to use will not be surprising, because this information is 1 year old. World Bank gives approval for use of Ripple's XRP. Now, as of now, XRP is not available, meaning it's discontinued. Instead, we have the on-demand liquidity, or the ODL. So in that aspect, don't be surprised when the governments will be stating that, okay, World Bank is allowing us and there is no much issue in the regulatory clarity, and we are going to use this as soon as possible. And during such an event, say for example, banks are the custodian of value, money, right? And This article is actually showing you that every day banks are losing its market share to fintech, and it's a death by 1,000 cuts. Banks who aren't already planning for the impact of transformational innovation have a very tough road ahead. So in that aspect, many would have already understood that a change is coming. And as you can see, we are always trying to focus on the payments, right? Because payments is the core of everything. Settling the payments and XRP and its design is kind of rightly coordinated, because if you read this, initiate and complete payment transfers without the need for a legacy payment networks or proprietary banking systems. And this way, regulations in EU is leading the way for payments innovation and precipitating the erosion of payment market share away from the banks. Now, we just saw that Bank of Japan and Euro area is working together. So connecting the dots, Japan is already in, and we know that Japan is so high on XRP. Now moving on, looking at this one from Cryptopolis is actually kind of connecting it with the previous ones with Ripple XRP Boy and the XRP Joker, because these are kind of showing that we are actually moving forward. Reputable individuals are coming out and they are actually stating this, right? A new wave of investments and investors are actually entering into the crypto markets. That is going to be pushing the next wave. And as we move, we also get information that Bitcoin is considered as a digital asset, and that's in a court in China based on a dispute between some individuals. So whatever it is, they are actually considering it as a digital asset. So the term digital asset is not only used by the crypto community, now it's being used in every aspect of legal area related to finance, assets and all. They are actually accepting that. Looking at the charts, this one is XRP on a 4-hour, and you can see that the pattern we discussed yesterday is still valid there. The price is a kind of flirting with that level. We can say this is the resistance level. There we broke above that of 0.218, then we actually came back, retested that area. Now we are kind of pushing above. So what you have to keep in mind is once we lead above 0.219 and touch 0.22, that is the area of this resistance point. And then if we move towards the higher of this area, that's 0.23. So if we manage to get the break here, then that should actually lead us high. Now, keeping that in mind and zooming a bit out, this is what you can actually see on a 12-hour chart. This is a bullish flag. Now, yes, that's not a neat representation I've created here, but sorry about that. But the aim is actually clear. It's a 17.4% of pump and then a flag. So if you're expecting a break to the upside, then it should be somewhere around 17%. So that will actually take you above 0.26. So considering where we are right now, that is quite a pump, because at that point, we will be breaking through different overhead resistance levels. Zooming even out and looking at a daily chart, we talked about this particular doji here, and that one was a red doji. Now today we are actually getting something in green. Now when we actually discussed about this on that day, we told that after this close, the chances are that the price may actually come down a bit, then slowly move up. Now it was not like predicting something. We actually used the previous price fluctuations to actually see what is coming ahead. The chances are that it may actually repeat, and that's kind of repeating itself. We actually came back a bit below. If you watch that video of say on May 4th, you would have actually got the idea. We were actually predicting that it may actually move like this and to the upside, and that chances are like it's happening, because if you look at the MACD here, we got a bounce from here, and it's chances are that we are gonna get a bounce here. And if we are getting the bounce there, then the flag pattern which we just talked in a 12-hour, and that's even valid on a daily chart, will have a break to the upside, taking us above 0.26. Now questions were actually raised about XRP BTC pair, not XRP USD pair sometimes, because when BTC is pumping and XRP is not moving much, the BTC maxis actually come up and state that you see this chart, this is not actually moving anyway. Now yes, when you're actually zoomed in, when you're not actually looking at the long-term scenario, you get something like this. This is a daily chart in which the price is actually going through the previous support levels. Oh yeah, we are drowning. Oh yeah, we are drowning. But keep an eye on the price, zoom out, then we can use the different tools we have and analyze that. So in that aspect, when you actually see that, you can actually see the current level where the price is standing was a previous support here, a previous resistance here. Now yes, it's a long-term game, right? So when you're actually looking at this, you can actually see that the previous areas where this particular, now looking at this red dotted line, right, it is acting as a support previously, then turned into resistance, then turned into support again. So currently we are just fluctuating around that area, and say for example, if we are moving even a bit down, then the chances are that we still have at least around 8% to the downside to move in this pair. That means there is a chance that BTC may move even a bit higher, say around 10,500, 11,000, and XRP will not be moving much. But say compared to that, in long-term fluctuation, that is not the case, because we have already seen what happened in the previous cycle. So when we actually compare this, say we're just zooming in just for last 1 year and look at what's happening. So in that aspect, say we currently have this particular trend line which is broken and we are moving to the downside, but we just saw that from the long-term support line, this makes the support resistance zone for XRP BTC pair. So as we dip in, if the buyers are actually coming in, then the price may actually push up high from here. And if that happens, keep that in mind. This is a pattern which we were following from a long time, and if that happens, as we talked, a bounce to the upside, then this is like a fake out and moving to the upside, and that will actually take us so much of upside. If you see this, just this pattern takes us around 60% to the upside after the break here. So keep that in mind too. If you are receiving value out of the content, do hit the like button, subscribe button, and the bell notification icon to get updated about the future videos.